Hey guys, it's your favorite Airbnb Carlos coming right at you. I got a message today from Christina. She's a good friend of mine and she's an Airbnb host who's been around for a little while. She messaged me because she's reached that wonderful rite of passage that all of us Airbnb hosts go through. Hey Carlos, how are you doing? I hope you don't mind. I have to ask you a question about guest damages. I had a guest put what looks like 5 cut marks and ripped our couch pillow open. Have you ever had to deal with Airbnb and guest damages yet? Anything you learned from the situation? Well, Christina, there's a lot to learn, a lot to know about, so I figured I'd put this video together so not only you, but everyone else can know how to deal with Aircover and how to file guest resolution complaints. So, here it is. Hey guys, Future Carlos here. So this video was such a pain to edit because all personal information had to be blacked out, redacted, censored, all that stuff. So, there's no way to really do a full resolution claim tutorial or without actually doing a resolution center claim. So anything you see in here that's redacted or anything like that is things that I think Airbnb would fall under their privacy policy. So without further ado, so the first and most important thing you need to collect is data. You need to collect the data on what's going on with your guests. You need to collect as much data as possible. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. I'm going to show you the way I do it. It's pretty straightforward and simple, especially since we have our systems automated with cleaners. So our cleaning staff does the majority of this, which makes things really, really easy and quick. So here you can see we have the way we communicate everything with our staff. WhatsApp. I know it's super fancy and technical and stuff like that. So what happens is when our cleaners, this is one of my cleaning staff, she's actually our head cleaner, when she sends us a message, she sends us the pictures of the damage. And you'll notice here there's a few things. This, for example, shows us which bedroom in the unit that the damage occurred in. But she'll send us multiple pictures of the same thing. And you'll notice that the two biggest things is she'll send a little bit more of like a wider shot of what's happened, then a more zoomed in photo of what's happened. And that's how that's the first thing you need, is you need more than one picture of what happened. Here as well we have, a pillow right here. She sent us the big wide shot, how it was found and stuff like that. And then she sends us the zoomed in shot of the actual damage itself. Now, this is one of the tricks we learned with Airbnb, is to have multiple photos of the same item. She also sent us photos of the state of the room. She likes this for when she has to send us questions about extra cleaning and authorizing things like that. So that's what she'll send us for in this case in this room. Here we have an item that was damaged. This is a photo of how she found it, and this was the photo of what happened to the book. It's an older book, so it's a little bit more unfortunate. It's gonna be harder to get a replacement, but that's what she does. So this is an example of what we got from one of our other cleaning crews just from yesterday. You can see they sent us a picture of the damage, what it was on, things like that, and they go through these cleaners are a little bit more tech savvy, so they circle the actual damage itself, so we can send it into Airbnb, and then they tell us what we're looking at, so that way we don't have, because we're taking multiple pictures of towels, we're able to know exactly what it is. And then here's another example of the cleaners and how they send the pictures of the towels. You can see that they send them in, they take individual pictures of each one, they circle the damages. All right, so here we have the first way. Just go to airbnb.ca/resolutions to file your resolution request. From there, you'll see all your existing ones, as well as your option to review the details. You can then opt to either send or request money. If you click request money from here, you have to put in your reservation code, which is a pain. So I recommend going instead into your actual Airbnb inbox, click on the reservation conversation with the person who caused the damages. And then if you look over here, you can scroll down until you hit Aircover for hosts. All you do is you click file a request. Another way that can happen as well is you click send money. And then from there, you can click start a reimbursement request or start a liability reclaim. In this case, we're starting a reimbursement request. It gives you a little reminder of what you need to do. From there, you click go ahead. Now they want to know what's happened. So quite easily, you just say damaged item, missing item, unexpected cleaning repair. In this case, we're going to have a damaged item. What was damaged? So here they give you options. So I'll just write, you look until you find the right one. Book. How many? Upload pictures. And it's actually kind of nice nowadays that you don't have to go and manually upload each individual one. You're able to go now and click them all. It used to be a lot more clunky of a system. Obviously, it can't be repaired. If it can be repaired, and this is the part where you need to be honest because it affects the way it goes, you need to click if it can be repaired or can't be repaired. So When it asks you how old is this item, it means how long have you owned the item. So in case I'm going to click 2 years, how much is this item worth? Now here's a little bit of the tricky spot. You got to figure out how much this item is worth. The easiest way to do it, go to Amazon, type in, what's the A size? I think it's 18x12 Atlas. So then you need to find an Atlas that would be equivalent to the one that you had. All right, so I ended up just typing in large Atlas hardcover, and I was able to find an Atlas here for $89.95, which is of the same quality, but also, if you scroll down here, you can see that it is of the same size. For us, it was a decor piece more than actually reliably, so I don't really care what brand it is. All I cared about was the size. So here we have the thing. We then copy the link to it, and then we switch it back over to our reimbursement. We can say we're looking at this thing, so we can put down 89.95. You then link an item to the same URL, and then you're done. And that's it. Now you go on to the next item. So you'll click next, then you click add another item. So now this is the frustrating part, is you have to go through for each individual item. I've gotten away with combining towels typically. So I'll say, like, for example, towels. Towel, how many are, this is a new update that I love. How many are damaged? Perfect. So now I'll go through and I'll say that one, upload, click the 2 towels, open. Can it be repaired? No. And that's one thing as well, as we have larger units, so we have a lot of towels. We typically are able to go through and deal with the stains and stuff like that ourselves. We've got a fantastic cleaning team that can save many of them. In this case, these ones were not able to be saved, less than 1 year old. Now for this one, Costco, because that's where we get our towels from. This is the brand that we love. Grandeur hospitality towels. They're not the most amazing, but they do clean very nicely. $54.99. So you divide that by 5, comes out to about $11. So that's what I'm going to put in. Then we put the URL in, and then we add the item, and then it's on to the next one. So you do this for all your items as you go through, and then at the end of it, you're able to just submit it all as one reimbursement request. All right, so I got my items all put on there and all looking nice and pretty. At this point in time, when you add another item, you're able to add in if you had a unexpected cleaning or smoke odor, which is something that can happen. What's the cost of additional cleaning? Now, they always do this kind of system where they'll say unexpected cleanings for extras. Things this could be like renting an ozone machine or additional hours needed for a cleaning service. If you're doing the cleaning yourself, average hourly cleaning rate, and then we can save out your progress. You can finish this up later. So in our case, with this system, Airbnb kind of has set numbers in mind for what they're going to allow you to charge for that. So typically for deodorizing, I've seen between $200 and $300 is what they'll let you charge for it. For extra cleaning, same thing, $200 or $300, unless you show like catastrophic damage. They won't let you. You can put whatever number you want, and they'll cut it down to their amount. So what I always suggest is always put it on the more high end of what it would charge for your own self. And if Airbnb feels it's too high, they'll cut it back down. So for that one, I typically ended up just putting in a different amount. Like I would probably put $250. At the end of the day with this person, I don't really want to charge for unexpected cleaning because it wasn't really that much extra. It was like an hour extra work. But if I were to, I would include pictures of like the mess and stuff like that was left behind. I don't really have a lot of pictures like that, so I probably wouldn't. But like I would pick all those pictures essentially that I didn't get to include in the original one. So then I click upload, give it a minute to load all those pictures. Bam, they're all uploaded. Add item. All right, so then we click next. From there, you need to select the date it happened. So in our case, you need to select the date of when the person checked out. So in our case, we found he checked in on the 7th, he checked out on the 9th. Unless it's a party or something like that, click the day they checked out. So that's happy there. Then we click next. So this is how Aircover works. First it'll go to the guest, and from there it'll continue on. So home was found in a state of and the damaged Atlas. Okay, so
So I put that in there, then I click next. From there, I get one last chance to review how much I'm going to be asking him for, when this happened, and a note to him. So, and this is your last chance to edit it. This is also...
So at this point in time, you can either submit your Aircover request or you can save it. So one thing that I highly recommend to everyone is not to send your Airbnb request until after the guest has written you a review. At the end of the day, you want the guest to write you an honest review, and you don't want to have to deal with revenge reviews. Some people might have really enjoyed their stay, but they will get upset because they're getting given a request like that, even though they did damage your property. So I highly recommend to everyone to do that. At the same time as well, though, you might... like for us, we have large homes. So when we're charging like $1,000 a night, sometimes in busy season, we don't really charge for all like a bunch of minor things. At the end of the day, this guy cost us a lot of extra money in cleaning because the place was pretty messy, but we're only charging him for the stuff that was damaged. If you have a smaller unit though, it's highly advisable for you to charge for all these little things because you don't have huge margins. You can't eat all these costs. So at that point in time, you might want to include that in there. And also when you have smaller units, you're probably rarely going to see the same people multiple times. And if somebody damages your place, they're not really a person you want to see multiple times anyways. So that's my recommendations with that. The other thing as well is that whenever you do an Aircover request, if it's anything under like $50, Aircover will just usually approve it. They'll barely even talk to you. If it's something that's more expensive, more pricey, they're going to, like if you start going into like the $500 range, they're going to want a lot more supporting evidence. They're going to ask for stuff. And then finally, if you're going over 1,000 or 2,000, I can't remember what the number is, they'll bring in a third-party adjudicator to go and make sure that everything's good and fair and stuff like that. And that's where also like the age of items comes into play. If Airbnb will look at the lifetime expectancy of an item. So for example, if you have a towel, lifetime expectancy is 2 to 3 years. So if it's 2 years old, they'll only pay you half of what the towel's worth. If it's something like a carpet, they'll say, well, your carpet's lifespan is 15 years. So your carpet was installed 7 years ago. It's halfway through its lifespan, so we're only going to pay for half. So that's the next big thing as well to check out and make sure that you look into is that what the actual cost is for the age of the item. Anything that's a consumable, like a towel or linens or glasses, always just say less than 1 year. At the end of the day, you're always going to have churn with those items. So there's no point in you trying to like look at the tag and figure out what year you bought that particular towel in. I would not recommend just going less than 1 year.
All right, so now that we got this all together, we're going to go ahead and click submit. All right, so he's done. Aircover is going to give them 24 hours to respond. You click done, and then you go back to your dashboard. You can see down here the reimbursement request. You can go to it and check it out. You can decide to cancel it if you want. They're waiting for a response, and they can take a look and see all the details. So after that, you can go ahead and check it out.
5 minutes later.
All right, so that did not take long. That was literally not even 15 minutes. The guest declined the request. That's typical. Like most guests will decline your Aircover claim either because they know that Airbnb will pay for it or because that's just the kind of people they are. Don't be surprised, and honestly, it becomes what you expect. So here, this is what the email looks like. It gives you the option to click go to request. When you click it, it brings you to your reimbursement request. At this part, you can go over the reasons why the guest declined it, things like that. They'll tell you that essentially it's not my fault. I definitely didn't do it. So at that point in time, you can just click ask Airbnb for help, or you can just close the request. So at this point in time, Airbnb asks, hey, is there anything else you want to know? Give us any additional information. So guest caused many other issues with the property that our cleaners were able to fix, just looking for damages for the items that were unsalvageable. That time, Airbnb will get back to you. And just like that, within 24 hours, Airbnb reached out to us and told us, hey, we're sorry to hear about the damages, and we'd like to confirm that your payment's been processed. So that's the thing. If you have anything that's a low request and you supply a lot of evidence, they don't even bother contacting you to ask for anything additional. They just approve it. So
this is an old one, but this is kind of like what ends up happening whenever you have any sort of meaningful Aircover request. So what ends up happening is it comes in, you'll get an email, and it'll be from someone who's called a support ambassador or something like that. They'll ask you about items and stuff like that. And essentially they'll go through each item. They'll say deep cleaning throughout the home, and you'll see everything that was done and everything that was wrong with the property. They'll say, for example, you see here, We had a major cleaning to do. It literally took us hours. They said, hey, you already charged a cleaning fee. What is the cleaning process in hours? And then they ask, these questions. Then they asked us about a damaged soup pot. We had a really big soup pot that's meant for like 20 people, or what soup for 20 people kind of thing. And then we have to send in this items. A lot of times they will ask you for original purchase receipts. So this is one of those areas where you want to make sure you keep receipts and take pictures. Of course, there's ways to get around this and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, that's something they typically ask a lot. Then we have original purchase receipts for these bed sheets. They want to see the original bed sheets. Then for smoke damage, and this is another thing, is Airbnb wants to replace your costs at the price you paid for them, not at replacement value. So in the time of inflation, it's a little bit frustrating. That's the name of the game. I always liken Aircover to AppleCare. They'll do everything for you, but you got to jump through all their hoops. Then they ask for professional cleaning invoices and then a breakdown with materials and things like that. Then they'll give you this date. They'll say it has to have it in by January 22nd. In this case for me, I received this email on January 16th, so I had 6 days to get it to them. So I responded back. Typically it takes this many hours to clean. We also do laundry, blah, 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 blah. So typically pay $350 for cleaning, but our price is fees to be competitive, it's lower than the area. They charged us $16 per hour along with stain removal, so I estimated that part. Do we use any professional invoices? Yes, we use a certain company. Please provide a letter. I said, well, let's do it when we see it. And then another thing as well is you want to ask them questions. So instead of saying it's done in straight billable hours, ask you for broken down the time spent each room or item. So you ask them questions like that. So I go through all these questions. Here they said, any attempts, can you please verify attempts with their moving? And I tell them, hey, there were 3 that were not solvable, other 5 were saved. They incorporated to cost to clean in the original cleaning invoice. From there, I sent that to her, didn't receive a response from her. A couple days later, I sent, hey, thanks for your patience. I've collected most of the items you asked for. I hope I did it all correctly.
A big thing with Aircover is there's a term in there that says that you need to maintain cooperative and you essentially need to have a good attitude during the process. So in the event that anything is wrong or anything that's frustrating you or ticking you off, you need to just take it with a smile and continue to be pleasant to them. And I find it's better to act the fool, act like the dummy there instead of being combative. If at any time they feel like you're being combative or causing issues, they will just simply deny your claim. So that's one thing with Aircover. You can't get mad at them. You can't get frustrated with them. So make sure you seem like the nicest person on the earth and you talk to them nicely. At the end of the day, this is a rep who literally goes through all the stuff all day, deals with crappy people all day. So you being pleasant and nice will go a long way.
So here I went and attached the URLs. I've attached the original purchase receipt. So then I go in and I include all the items there that they requested. I told them I haven't seen the IMS invoice yet, but I'll send it to them. And down here I include the original receipts for all these items. So down here I say I got an invoice from the smoke remediation company, how much the new cost is and stuff like that. I attach it in. And then, hey, thank you for response. I was away from my workstation. I appreciate your efforts and support to documentation. There's a few additional documents needed to be able to decide it. Please provide us the following documents. They ask if the company I use has a website, social media account, all that kind of stuff. And then on the invoice, there is sofa upholstered stain removal. There's no photo of the stain in the resolution center. Please provide both photos of the stain and the carpet. And then as well, there's at the time we put a couple other listings and stuff like that. I told them, hey, this is a couple older Hispanic ladies. I can forward copies of the emails she sent us. I've attached stains for the upholstery, so I attached the pictures that she had sent me for the stuff I didn't go for. And then I have attached pictures of placement parts, and I have included his business card. So I went and put all these items in. You can see I attached everything under there. And then I get a response back a couple days later. They, instead of doing the 450, they just did 366. Instead of doing the 170, they did 118. they compensate the bed sheets at the amount. The cleaned the order, I was saying they reduced it down to $147 instead of $247. Electric cover plate, $28. So this is the important thing. Please be informed that the amount we approve varies from the web search market value computation for its depreciation. And then as well, they said that we weren't able to find damages, so we're not going to cover you that part. So essentially that's all that happened, all that got done, and then it was done. That stuff was sent to my account, and that was it.
All right, so I hope that helps break it down. The only other thing as well is like Christina, you mentioned that you have slashes on the couch. So typically what Airbnb will want is they will want the couch repaired instead of replaced because it's cheaper to repair than to replace. So for me personally, the one thing that we do is at the end of the day, I have my own in-house people who can do repairs and stuff like that. However, Airbnb still wants a third-party company to do it. So for me, I've split my companies up so that way I have 2 different companies. So whenever a repair is done, but like in-house, I have my company send me an invoice that I then send on to Airbnb to be able to pay my people who do it. Chances are you probably don't have to worry about going that complicated. Simply call up furniture shops and find out how much it will cost to repair it. If you have, obviously, if you have like leather or fabric, you might be a little bit more SOL because you might not be able to get it salvaged. So at that point in time, you can send to Airbnb a copy of the estimate saying, hey, this guy said to repair this leather couch is going to cost $500. Well, the couch cost me $500 in the first place to buy, so there's no real point in doing that. So you send that to them and then they'll be able to choose. So that's the only other thing as well. It sucks that they slash that stuff up, but you'll be able to send it. And then the other thing as well is make sure that when you send them the stuff for your pillows that you include one item for the pillow insert that was slashed up and another one for the pillow cover. So make sure you have those 2 items separate so that way you can get money back for both of them. Hope that helps. If there's any other questions you got, let me know. Otherwise, take care.